So this is our first night with the Snoo. He ate maybe hour 15 minutes ago. So then he didn't fall asleep right away. I fed him again 15 minutes ago. So about an hour after that initial one. Right, something like that. And this time he didn't go to sleep either. So he's wide awake. I went ahead and swaddled him and put him in the Snoo. He fussed a little bit, so went up to level 2. We'll see how this goes. So this is our first morning after the Snoo, and his stretch last night, he went down at 4 after his last feeding. His dad put him in it before then, so that's when I kind of done the update where you guys, he was wide awake. So that stretch went for 4 hours and 38 minutes. So I was downstairs. Snoo alerted me like, hey, he's on the highest setting. He's not settling. So we knew at that point, like, okay, it's time for him to wake up and he's hungry. So now he's eaten and he is like super calm, not ready for a nap. So he's not back in the Snoo. But yeah, that is like the longest stretch by far that we have gotten in the last 4 weeks. So far, so good. Okay, so we're still in our first 24 hours with the Snoo. He fell asleep, which is the only reason why I put him down in there. And of course, his MO, as soon as you put him down, he wakes up. We put him in the Snoo, see if he could soothe. He's up to a level 4 now. If pretty much 2 minutes, it can't soothe him, then I'll get him out. But this is trying our first nap after he was already asleep and then trying to keep him down. But you can see we've given the passy a few times. And then he'll kind of calm down. But ultimately, I think he wants to get out. We'll keep checking in for 24 hours with the Snoo. Now, y'all saw how upset he was. I mean, upset. So this got to a 4, which is the highest level. And I told y'all if it took longer than 2 minutes to soothe, I would grab him. But he is completely soothed and completely asleep for his nap. I think we're starting to make some conclusions about whether this is worth the money or not. Okay, so still in 24 hours with our Snoo. The first nap, yeah, he did not stay down. So he ended up doing his, mommy arm nap, fall over nap together. So we did a co-nap. But I had a delivery come in and he was dozing after his last feeding. And so I said I would try it. He was wide awake. And he now has been in this Snoo session for about 25 minutes. It completely put him to sleep from wide awake to now sound asleep. And I guess it's working because he is on a level 1 and we've gotten the message that he is calm and has been so. Okay, so we're making our way through our first 24 hours. We're getting close. So he was pretty fussy. I tried to kind of rock him to sleep, so he was lightly asleep before I put him down. And I'm like, okay, let me try it. So I put him in his bassinet. It's on the lowest one. It looks like it's actually gonna work. He actually went down without his pacifier. One thing that I have noticed, which I'll pay attention to, is that he doesn't normally spit up, and earlier he did spit up. So I don't know if the consistent motion or what, or just happenstance, but I'll kind of keep you updated on that if the spit up becomes a problem, because it generally is not. It wasn't huge, it was just a little bit like kind of coming out of his mouth, which concerned me too about that moisture underneath his head. But we're getting close to like our night sleep and doing like our dream feed. So we'll do the dream feed, and then we'll see what kind of long stretches we'll get out of him tonight. Okay, so we're getting ready. Well, I mean, you can kind of see it's nighttime outside. So we're getting ready to kind of wind down for the night and do his, he usually does two, well, no, he actually does like 3 stretches at night. So he was super fussy. At his normal time that he's super fussy, I slowly rocked him and then decided that, before he gets into deep sleep, which is normally what I do, let him get deep and put him down. Let's see if the Snoo will actually do it for him. And so so far so good. I'll let you guys know when I check in later. We're kind of winding down the first 24 hours. And I'll show you guys like his whole tracker for the 24 hours and everything like that. But so far so good. This is definitely different to have him be lightly asleep and be able to put him down so quickly. I'm going to grab some dinner. So we're winding down our last few hours, or last hour. With our first 24 hours with the Snoo. I did do a dream feed with him at 11:15 and 12:15, and he went down his Snoo really quickly, maybe after about 10 minutes of holding, and he barely drifted off. He took a long stretch of sleep, just like he did yesterday. So about 4 hours and 20 minutes. And so for a good majority of that, I was able to sleep kind of after I hurried up and got myself together. He is just about ready to go back down in his Snoo. His eyes have been closed for a couple minutes. I do try to make sure that I burp him before I put him back in there. We haven't had the spit up thing again. So that was just one time I was a little concerned about how much motion he was getting in there. And I think that it was just like maybe a coincidence or whatever. So I did make sure that he burped, make sure he's settled. You can see he's still kind of like moving around. But his eyes are closed. So I'm going to try to swaddle him and see if he'll just go down. So this is about as turned as the Snoo will get. You can hear the noise is pretty loud, and it's shaking a good shake. And he is just wiggling. So at this point, this would be an example where I would just snack him in the middle of the day. He was down for a nap, but now he just seems like he's up here. It's just like, he's sucking. He might want to eat early. So even though it seems to be kind of calm now, I probably wouldn't really want to like tough it out with this, but I want to just see kind of like how turned up it'll kind of get.